Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get firsthand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career triple shot K-Cup with my guest, Martin McGovern. Where are you today? How would you describe where career therapy is? We're doing this interview on June 1st of 2021, coming out of the pandemic, light at the end of the tunnel. Has the pandemic been a boon for career therapy? Has it been a challenge? Where would you say you are?
The pandemic had its interesting effect on the coaching world. In a way, it was a boon because a lot of people lost their jobs, and it's a career that when people are in crisis, that's what we're here for. So it sort of is recession-proof in a way, but it kind of came with its own challenge because right before the pandemic was the first time ever I thought more than like 6 months ahead. I was like, okay, I have this meetup. It's going well. I'm going to plan it out for a year. And I got a partner and I had a space to host it. And I scheduled all of the meetups for an entire year. It's the first time I'd ever done something. Normally it's like a week ahead of time. And I got really excited about how like long term I started thinking about business. And then literally like 2 meetups in, the pandemic hits. And I was like, okay, let's pivot. And that's when I started doing live streams and I started putting a lot more time into the podcast and I started doing a lot more virtual stuff. And right now, I think where career therapy has gotten to, through a lot of ups and downs, I actually launched a different version of the Unstuck coaching program called the Stress-Free Job Search. It was a much longer program, much more in depth, a lot more touch points with clients. And it honestly, it overwhelmed people. They were like, I need like time to process and put this stuff into effect. So the pandemic was really fun, weird way to put it. But it gave me time to test things and to iterate on things and to kind of remove some of the excess. And now I have this program that has a 3-month, a 6-month, and a month-by-month version. And it's really streamlined. I've really kind of honed it in and found what I like to do and how I like to support people and what they need the most. And now I'm bringing in some more like mental health strategic stuff into there as well, like how to keep yourself from going crazy during the job search, because that's the tough part. So right now, career therapy is a mixture of contracts with schools and helping them coach their students, as well as building up this program and trying to make it as great as I can for the folks going through it.
Fantastic. One of the things that I've observed, Martin, after interviewing hundreds of professionals and coaching probably around 100 students, not at your level there with hundreds of students you've coached, is that so long as you keep your interests front and center and lean into your strengths, when you look in the rearview mirror, all the dots will line up in a way that it almost seems as if you had it mapped out ahead of time. What would you say?
Oh, yeah. I think everything makes sense looking backwards. And that's from coaching so many people who don't feel that way. Almost everyone I coach says, I want to just ignore my previous job and start fresh. And I go, that's fine, but you're going to have a hard time telling that story. I had someone who was a poker player for 4 years and he wouldn't put it on his resume. And I go, why not? He goes, I think it makes me look unprofessional. I go, yeah, until you get the interview with the guy who plays poker every Friday with his buddies. And now you're having the best conversation of your life. Or until you apply for a job at a company that uses gaming theory in their business. And now you are the smartest person in the room. And like, what's worse, being a man of mystery for 4 years or being a poker player? Like, I think being a man of mystery is a more weird thing. So even my career, I didn't even know what career coaching was. And even when I was doing it, I was teaching marketing and people were using it to get jobs. And I was like, it's interesting. All right, back to teaching my class. And then it sort of got pointed out to me that this is a thing people do. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is. Because in college, there were career advisors and things like that. And it's been this slow evolution. So looking backwards, I love human behavior and psychology and mental health and marketing, and all of it now makes sense because I can put those pieces together. And earlier today, I was talking to someone who was an anthropology major and now he's a UX designer. And he goes, well, I just want to leave out the first part. I go, but why are you an anthropology major? He goes, well, because I love studying what makes humans similar and what makes them different. And I go, and what's UX design? He goes, well, finding that sort of thing that really connects like the behavior that most people exhibit and designing for that. And I go, exactly. So let's connect these dots and make the story work. And yeah, so for me, it really does make sense looking back. So I could even see it. Obviously, I love coaching. I'm going to keep coaching, but I could see it veering into like becoming a therapist, or I could see it going a lot of different ways. And that's to be explored. Who knows? But right now, I'm just focused on building this business and making it as strong as I can. And I think I might have gotten a little way away from your question there, but I hope I circled it well enough.
You did a beautiful job circling it. Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.